Good morning and welcome to Sports and Shorts Tailgate Edition right here on 92.9 KVRE and streaming online at kvre.com. My name is Mark Oliver, joined alongside Tracy Simpson. Thanks for tuning in this week. Tracy, I hope you had a good birthday this week. Happy birthday, buddy.
Oh, boy.
Glad to see you back in the chair. You finally recovered from...
Let me tell you something. It's not easy anymore. It's not easy anymore. But, I want to thank everybody, all the great text, emails from everybody. Had a great one. My family up here, you guys, of course. And my boys took me out. We watched a lot of sports and entertainment, we should say, and got a lot of great sports and shorts information just hanging out with the guys. So it was not only a fun time, but very informative.
We have a jam-packed show for you this week. We will talk to the head coach of Mountain Pine boys basketball, Jeremy Hildreth. We have a ton of local sports roundup information on events coming up for you in the listening area. But first, we'll begin this week's show with the conclusion of the 2024 Olympics in Paris. Tracy, it really just feels like yesterday that we were witnessing that brilliant opening ceremony. Wow, what a summer games we had this year. Tracy, the U.S. finishes as the overall medal winner with 126 medals. They tie China for first with 40 golds apiece and finishes the world leader in silver with 44 and bronze with 42. It was an incredible showing for our athletes here in the States, which brought in more overall medals than the previous Tokyo Olympics and became the first country in Olympic history to surpass 3,000 Olympic medals.
Oh, boy, you talk about some numbers, staggering, I'm telling you. And once again, though, similar to Tokyo, coming from behind fashion, not overtaken, but at least tying, and absolutely you couldn't, breathtaking. Of course, if you watch the women's basketball, you know what happened there. It was one of those nail biters once again, and still we've got a medal out there that's yet to be determined. So a great Olympics. I thought so many different, Mark, I'm telling you what, this was one Olympics that I saw so many different endings that it was unbelievable, from track and field to the rugby to the basketball, just nail biters.
Yeah.
I don't think, have you ever seen this many? Unbelievable.
Not that I can recall.
Right.
It was certainly very, very entertaining. Had so many moments that kept you on the edge of your seat. There were many moments, and some that we're going to talk about here in a second, that it just looked like doom and gloom, looked like all hope was lost, and then out of nowhere, like epic comebacks, miraculous comebacks even, to come in and steal some gold medals or maybe seal the gold medal is absolutely incredible. And Tracy, one thing I'll say about these games, it feels like, I know they're only every 4 years, but it feels like they always come at like the right time, like the right time in the world where the world needs this level of a distraction or this level of positive energy just to kind of rally and renew some pride in one's home country. It was absolutely incredible. And got a few more numbers to throw your way. Of course, swimmers Tori Husk and Reagan Smith for the U.S. won 5 medals apiece. That's the most of any individual Olympian in this year's game. And hey, Arkansas was represented very well in this year's Olympics games. I saw the stat that said if Arkansas was its own country, it would have finished 16th, beating out countries such as Sweden, Norway, and Kenya. 4 golds, 3 silver, and a bronze. You had Ryan Krauser get the gold in the shot put. Kelsey Plum, big name in women's basketball, getting gold. Of course, we're going to talk about that more in a moment. Tara Davis Woodhull took home the gold in the long jump. She's from Fayetteville. And Rohei Stona takes home the gold in the discus throw. He threw the discus 210 feet. It's incredible. He graduated from University of Arkansas this year, actually attended some NFL training camps for both the Packers and the Saints. Boy, talk about Olympic gold right out of college. He still has his whole life ahead of him.
He's got everything ahead of him, and I believe that, the training camps, they picked him up on a practice squad, so we'll find out exactly with that. But 210 feet, can you imagine that at this over a football field? I can't even. I mean, I used to throw that back in high school, and I mean, we were lucky to get 70.
It's incredible. It's incredible.
But so many great accolades coming from it, Mark, and like you were talking about, some historic endings on some of them. We mentioned them last week a little bit about the golf and of course the rugby and such, but it was just unbelievable. I mean, the girls' basketball. You say football is a game of inches. Well, basketball can be too.
Let's talk about women's basketball. It was the U.S. versus France in the gold medal game, and the Americans took home an outstanding 8th consecutive gold medal, and it was a nail-biter of a contest, Tracy. It literally came down to the final shot. French superstar Gabby Williams sank a long-range shot at the buzzer. If it was a 3, it would have tied the game. After review, it was ruled as a 2-pointer, and the U.S. survives 67-66. They become the first basketball team in Olympic history to win 8 consecutive gold medals. The U.S. has now won 61 straight games dating back to 1992. My wife was a newborn in diapers. Behind heroic late-game efforts from Kelsey Plum and Breanna Stewart, the U.S. got it done when it mattered the most. Hey, Tracy, I know it was a 1-point win, had to go down to review. Hey, win's a win, and it extends on a dominant display for the women as they turn their eyes to Los Angeles for the next Olympic Games.
Well, it was similar in fashion to the men's, when Curry came in the fourth, and just went after it and just bombshelled, 3 after 3 after 3 after 3 after 3. But the whole historic area of it, Mark, the come from behind where everybody was doubting, they wasn't sure. I don't know who the guy that was doing all the menu with his little finger markings and stuff like that, but he was in doubt that the United States was going to be able to tie, China. And no, they were not going to be denied. And sure enough, it came through. And excitement, excitement, no doubt about that.
A lot of heart, a lot of athleticism. Of course, last week on the show, we predicted a U.S.-France final for men's basketball, and Tracy, it almost did not happen. In that semifinal match between the U.S. and Serbia, the Americans had their work cut out for them. They trailed for more than 35 minutes during the contest, including a deficit as large as 17 points. Doom and gloom. It looked like U.S. was going to have to settle for bronze this year, but behind red-hot shooting from chef Steph Curry, the Americans outscored Nikola Jokic, Bogdan Bogdanovic, and the Serbians 32-15 down the stretch to take the lead for good. They win at 95-91. Curry finishes with 36 points on 12 of 19 shooting. LeBron finishes with a triple-double with 16 points, 12 rebounds, 10 assists. Joel Embiid was big with 19 points, including 7 crucial points in the fourth quarter. And they make it to the final. Once again, it's U.S. and France. And I got to say, the gold medal game may not have been as exciting as the semifinal match with the Serbians, but U.S. takes home a 98-87 victory. Tracy, since 2004, Team USA is 36-1 in the Olympics. Its one lone loss was a loss to France in pool play back in Tokyo, and now they've forced France to settle for back-to-back silver medals.
Yeah, and Mark, I'm going to make what you talked. We've been talking about for the last couple of weeks, but what you really came up on was the countries are catching up with with the superpowers. All the smaller countries are at the sporting ranks, anyways. We've got so many people contributing to the pro scale and coming in from, like you were talking about, from Italy, from France, from England, all around, from Australia. Baseball, and even now in football, we've got 2 major punters that are on, football teams and in the NFL. So I think the rest of the world is catching up with the superpowers, especially with the United States. But with all that said and taken, I love to see that these guys, even though playing in the United States now, going back to their country and representing, being proud of what they, their heritage is. And I think that's unbelievable. And not knowing, because not that they're going to get the gold, but you're playing for the United States. The gold is what we're looking at.
Yeah, it's gold or bust.
It's gold
for
or
the US.
bust. Exactly.
Absolutely.
And I just don't see that when they're in a smaller country. You know what I mean?
Right. And when you look at the overall medal count, it looks extremely dominant. And you're probably out there listening like, Mark, Tracy, what are you guys talking about? What do you mean everybody else is catching up? Did you see the medal count? Yes, we did. But the level of competition has certainly risen up. Like we see it in the NBA, where in back-to-back years we see Frenchmen going number one in the NBA draft. France has a huge footprint on the basketball circuit in the world now, and yes, the U.S. has the upper hand, and maybe the U.S. made it look at least somewhat easy in this year's gold medal game. The talent is coming, the talent is growing. A lot of them are merging into the NBA. Of course, Serbia has former MVP Nikola Jokic in the mix there, and when you look at this gold medal game, LeBron James, of course, takes home the MVP, maybe controversially, because of what Steph Curry did in those final two games. But we did not have a vote in the equation. But, nonetheless, LeBron does get the trophy. It does seem like another huge accolade for the superstar who's very soon going to be riding off into the sunset, calling it a career, likely his very last Olympic Games. And it's just an incredible feat for both the men and the women, and it invokes a sense of pride in one's country for sure.
No doubt about that. And here's the big question: LeBron had already talked about, okay, in 4 years from now, well, Curry's right behind him.
Yeah, right.
Okay,
and
Curry,
so is Kevin Durant.
And so all of them in their mid-30s and up. So is there another? And we'll talk about this at another level at another time. But is there another one for Curry down the road in 4 years?
There may
in
be.
L.A. In L.A.
Well, I'll tell you this much. What we can see out of current Steph Curry, he still has a full tank of gas.
He ain't going anywhere. He's not going anywhere. But that's something, because we also touched on the younger generation coming up and making an impact, not only in basketball, but in football, everything. The young guns, as you were calling them the other day, are coming up. And we're seeing a retirement party pretty soon for a lot of these. And I believe that I just don't see Curry.
Well, there was a lot of controversy around playing time. Jason Tatum just won an NBA title with the Boston Celtics, and it seemed weird in a lot of sports analysts' eyes. Hey, this guy just won the NBA title. He's on the bench. Steve Kerr's not even putting him in.
MVP.
Tyrese Halliburton got a gold medal for doing almost nothing in this Olympic Games. What's that all about? Listen, these guys are going to be the future. These guys are going to be the superstars in the upcoming Olympic Games in Los Angeles. Their time is coming. They have to kind of ride the coattails of some of the best to ever play the game, but their time is coming.
Well, Kerr, altogether, what has he got? 11 championships altogether?
I trust Steve
He may
Kerr.
know what he's talking about.
I trust what he's doing.
He may know a little bit. We'll be right back. We got a big second quarter coming up, don't we?
That's right. When we come back, we'll talk to the head coach of Mountain Pine boys basketball, Jeremy Hildreth. Don't go anywhere. Sports and Shorts Tailgate Edition continues in a moment on 92.9 KVRE. Welcome back to Sports and Shorts Tailgate Edition, right here on 92.9 KVRE and online at kvre.com. He's Tracy Simpson. I'm Mark Oliver. Tracy, for the second quarter of this week's show, school is back in session this week, and we take a look at the Mountain Pine Red Devils, where new high school boys basketball coach and Red Devil alum Jeremy Hildreth has hit the ground running, not only with his basketball team, but in the community as well. Hildreth recently created the Youth Outreach Union, or U, which brings students out into the community to help those in need. Coach Hildreth joins us on the phone this week to tell us more. Coach, welcome. Thank you for joining us this week.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Coach, you've certainly been busy since the big announcement, but those who know you know that this is just typical Coach Hildreth, helping youth in the community, helping Mountain Pine, try to get them in a positive spotlight. What inspired you to start the U program?
Well, a couple years ago, I talked to a couple teachers around here, and they've always had the idea. We've just never been able to kind of put it in action. Well, I've been here this is going on 7 years, and the more comfortable I got, the more people I knew, I thought, I've always had it in the back of my mind, and last year was the time we could actually implement it. Got together with a couple coaches here, Coach Walpole and Coach Boyd, and both of them loved the idea, so that's kind of what kicked it off.
Coach, what are some of the projects that you and the guys have already accomplished in the community so far?
Okay. Well, it started off with the ramp. We have a here who had a pretty bad situation with our ramp. She kind of fell through it. One of her feet did. So we went ahead and fixed that for her, and that's how it started. We've done now 3 to 4 ramps We also started painting the fire hydrants in Mountain Pine for the city, and then we actually during the tornadoes that came through, one of them dropped a pretty good sized tree on a church member's house, and so the church reached out to us, and I took a crew over there, and we cut up the tree for them, got it off the house as much as we could so they could move that house out of there. And so those have been we've had about 7 projects done, and I've got a few more in mind already.
Coach, is there anything particular with any of these projects or whatever you get? Is there anything particular that you guys are needing to donate to you? Any tools or any implements or anything of that nature that you guys could use?
Well, this summer we were going to try to keep the Mountain Pine Parks mowed and weed eated, and so shovels, rakes, things of that nature that kids could use. We would love to have even some weed eaters. I wasn't able to get that, because we're so busy this summer, but those are things that we could definitely. Wood is also a good one. We always see that. So those would, great additions. Or any tools that my kids could use would be great.
How do they get in touch with you, Coach? Is there a phone number or is there some way? What's the best way to get in touch with you?
Well, they could call the school.
Okay.
I'm here almost every day for sure. But I also have, if I could give you my email, this is another great way. So it's Jeremy, Jeremy, dot HILDRETH at mpsdrd.com.
Okay. We'll have that on our website, and then we'll try to see if we can get some numbers at you. Okay, Coach?
That would be great. I surely would appreciate that.
And Coach, of course, with school starting this week, I know that you're out there trying to get more participation into this program. I believe it's open to 4th through 6th graders, correct me if I'm wrong, and some of the high school students have been helping out as well. Is that right?
Yes. So we have 7th through 12th is an option. I talk to and they give some recommendations. And then those 7th through 12th graders, who remind them that they're leaders in our community and that they have young people in the elementary looking up to them. So we take the 4th through 6th, which is also recommended by teachers, and we'll take those groups together, go out into the community and fix whatever we can. Usually, almost every time it has been set up, the meeting has been set up, but I'm not against us one day just going out and seeing what we can do in Mountain Pine. But, yes, so we take, and it's open to girls and boys as well, high school, 7th through 12th, and 4th through 6th in the elementary.
Are there any projects coming up down the pipeline that you're either have scheduled to work with the U program or would like to work with the U program going forward?
Yes. So, actually, this Thursday, the Mountain Pine sign is getting repainted, and they're going to try to get some lights, maybe some flowers out there. We're wanting to get kind of involved in that to help with that. We also have multiple ramps that's been brought to my attention that we can do, and we're still working on painting all the fire hydrants in Mountain Pine. We're painting them Dalmatian. So those are 3 projects that we're currently working on, or at least one project that has a ton of fire hydrants, but a whole bunch of other stuff that's in the works.
Something special. I tell you what, Coach, down the road, I've been involved with some of this going through the judicial system and such, but this is a volunteerism that at the next level, and we appreciate you so much. I think I can come up with some rakes and some shovels for you, and some other implements. I think I've got the right person to get in contact with there, Coach.
That would be excellent. I sure would appreciate it. Anything you can do to get the word out, that's excellent. Gives our kids a great opportunity to just give back to their community, and I appreciate you guys.
So, Coach, let's turn the page a little bit, of course. It feels like not too long ago that you and I were both walking the halls together as Mountain Pine Red Devil students, but I know that you've been with the school as a worker for the past 7 years and recently named the head boys basketball coach for the high school. Tell me why that was the right move for you.
Well, I've been coaching almost my entire career up here. It's been volunteer positions, but last year I helped with the girls' basketball team. A couple years before that, probably the last 4, I've been helping with football, volunteering wherever I could. A lot of the times I wouldn't be able to get on the field because they needed someone to run the clock. But when they did find someone to run the clock, I was able to get on a headset and help Coach Alderman or Coach Scott as much as I could. So I've been trying to get into coaching for a while. I now, I'm a sped teacher, so that's a lot of paperwork. Had to kind of learn the ropes with that, but I've been doing this now for going on 7 years, and I'm ready to coach. I'm excited. I've wanted to coach for a long time, and I do believe now this time I'm ready to.
And, of course, one other big story, since you've taken the reins of the program, a huge equipment donation to your weight room to help strengthen the boys basketball program. Tell me more about that and what impact it's going to bring to the Red Devils this fall.
Yeah, well, I've coached before, and I have some contacts. One of those contacts reached out to school that was getting rid of their equipment, and they needed a small donation. If we'd give them a little bit of money, they would give us a lot of equipment. So reached out to some community members. Coach Tony Ruckert, he's a Pee Wee coach out here, and he's been coaching my son for the last 2 years, going on 3. And Coach Ruckert's always looking for opportunity to help the community. So when he heard about it, he told me, whatever I need, just figure it out. So he gave me a donation to go up there, and we picked up the equipment. We've already been putting it together. I do believe the gym is almost finished. There's still a few things that we need, but it definitely looks like a gym that's going to get us stronger. So I'm excited about that. And I just believe, with the football, they have plenty of stuff to get them stronger, and we don't really focus much on basketball getting stronger. So just getting the mentality when you get in the weight room, it's where you build strength. You get your mind right. It makes men out of boys, and that's what the whole basketball program is going to try to do. So good. It's a good stepping stone to move forward in the program.
Coach, always big things happening in the Mountain Pine community, certainly one of the smaller communities in Garland County, but that family focus, that community focus makes it really feel like family. Congratulations on the new coach and the new program, and best of luck to you and the Red Devils this season.
Well, thank you very much, guys. I appreciate both of you. Thank you.
All right, man. Coach, we appreciate you once again. And we'll work on the gymnasium next time, okay?
Absolutely. That sounds great.
Okay, buddy. We'll talk to you later.
All right. Y'all have a good day.
Oh, Mark, that's some excitement right there, man. You know what? Giving back to the community is one thing, but at this level, being a part of that community and knowing what it takes to get to the next level, that's special right there. And you can feel that from his heart. You know what I mean?
A lot of sacrifice goes into what Coach Hildreth does, and even Tony Ruckert, as he mentioned, he's our son's Pee Wee basketball coach. The Red Devils Pee Wee program that is going into 5th grade this year has never lost a game, won 2 straight conference championships, and it's just really special. We all know each other, all great guys, great families. Shout out to Coach Hildreth's wife, Sandy, and his wonderful children, Elijah and Lila, as well. Know them very, very well. Mountain Pine's in good hands going forward.
And I surely believe that. Man, just being a part of Mountain Pine and knowing that you've talked about it, and I have too for you. Think about this. This is a program just 6 years ago that was basically null and was on the outskirts out of the bubble looking in. And now back to 11-man football and got new basketball weights and all kinds of good stuff going on out there. Hey, it's good to be a Red Devil right now, I'm telling you.
Puts a lot of pride in it as well, and I know my kids were both super excited to get back into the halls this week and be Mountain Pine Red Devils again this fall.
No doubt. School is starting, and we've got much to talk about also. 3rd quarter's coming up, 4th quarter, and trust me, there's tons to talk about, not only football, but some other regional stuff going on around the area. Stay tuned. Sports and Shorts Tailgate Edition. 3rd quarter already? Yeah, we've got it coming up. So stay tuned right here at 92.9 and streaming at kvre.com.
Welcome back to Sports and Shorts Tailgate Edition, right here on 92.9 KVRE. He's Tracy Simpson. I'm Mark Oliver. And as we make it to the 3rd quarter of this week's show, let's talk a little collegiate athletics here on the program. We begin with National Park College this week, where Nighthawks soccer kicks off with the regular season opener this Thursday, August 22nd, held at Hot Springs World Class High School. Women's action begins at 5 o'clock, followed by men's action around 7 p.m., and the matches will be streamed live by yours truly at np.edu/live. Tracy, I had the opportunity to see both of these teams in action last week. They played an exhibition exhibition match against Williams Baptist University on Wednesday at Hot Springs High. And even before that, the men faced a 1-1 draw against a really talented Northeastern Oklahoma team on the road. Coach Corey Irvine came in as the new head coach of this program to begin this season, and he's really made some waves with this program. I've had an opportunity to sit out at practices and just watch his style, watch how the teams are kind of growing and learning. They're loaded with returning sophomore talent, but some really talented freshman faces as well. And one of the things that I really like about Coach Corey Irvine's coaching style is the amount of positivity that he incorporates into what he does. Yeah, he's going to coach you out there. He's going to help you right the wrongs, but he's going to praise you whenever you're really getting it to click, whenever things are really starting to make sense and go in motion. It's something that I don't always necessarily see from coaches across on all levels. I know certainly at the Pee Wee level, for example, with my son's basketball and baseball leagues, sometimes there's a little tough love that's incorporated in there.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, in high school football, it's turning boys into young men, right? So I like this approach here. I like to see how it's going to translate this season on the pitch for NPC, certainly because these are two programs that, yes, have had a head coach change, but the boys' side, the men's side, has won back-to-back NJCAA Region 2 championships, and the women's side, they won their first Region 2 championship last season, and were just one win away from advancing to nationals in Phoenix, Arizona last season. So certainly some big hurdles for each of these teams to climb, but I like what I see so far out of NPC.
So, Mark, and we've talked about this not only with the basketball, with the baseball, but with soccer, you see that influx of the student athletes that are coming from around not only this region, but also from around the nation, and the potential of them having a good team. I'm not that much user-friendly with soccer. Coaching is a style of soccer. I would think you got certain plays you set up, and of course, but I would think that knowing your players is more important than setting up really scheduled, certain set plays and stuff like that. Of course, you got to know their potential. And I think a coach like him, I think that's important because it's just that simple, relationships. And I see that as him. You don't have to kill him with kindness, but you don't have to kill him with have a strong, stiff arm either. But I see that in him, and that he's going to get the best players on the field for whatever they need them at that time. But it's also going to make them feel like they're wanted. And NPC, I'm telling you what, this seems to be more prevalent more and more and more. You saw that at the basketball level.
Well, you see it at any level of sports, really, Tracy. You have to be able to buy in and really believe in what your coach is selling to you. Let's look at it on the baseball diamond, for example. There's a great example. The Chicago White Sox are absolutely terrible, but they finally got rid of their manager. They brought in Grady Sizemore, and then the White Sox drummed the Yankees 12-2 the next day. Mm-hmm. Like, sometimes you just need that breath of fresh air. I can tell that the Nighthawks have really embraced Coach Corey Irvine. Maybe it's the really thick Scottish accent. I don't know. I'm a huge fan myself.
Well, that was okay. That was going to be my next question. You've seen the influx, like we were talking about with international levels at NPC.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not going to say a certain set towards certain, but it helps because I'm sure they play football over.
Sure.
Where he's from.
Sure.
Not soccer.
Yeah.
They play football. So the guy knows how to play and coach the game already. If that doesn't give you a little bit of a leg up, what does?
Well, absolutely. And of course, he was a women's assistant with Northwest Mississippi Community College last season, a team that advanced to the national tournament. Coach Irvine knows how to win. He knows what it takes to win. And he's got both of these teams bought in. 30 guys on the guys squad this year, just 15 on the roster for the women this year. And while the numbers are low on the women's side, he's battling that head on, hitting the ground running, conditioning, focusing a lot on conditioning, knowing that these women may have to be out there for very extended periods of time, may not have a whole lot of depth for substitution in matches. He's wanting to make sure that his team not only can beat the heat, but can withstand really long drives out there on the field and be able to play a full 90 minutes plus potential extra time if needed in some circumstances. So he's ready to accept the challenge, and I'm ready to see what these teams are all about once regular season play begins on Thursday.
I'm glad you brought that up a while ago. Yeah, I'm not by no means a Yankees, but Juan Soto said something the next night.
I know he did. I know he had a 3 home run game. Yes, everybody out there is like, ha ha, Mark's team's terrible.
Oh, well.
And they are. And that's okay. I've
That's
embraced
okay.
it. I've
We've
accepted it.
We got something to look forward to. Okay.
It's what I said last week. Listen, if you're not with me at our lowest low, there's no room on the bandwagon when we're competitive again in like 2060. Okay.
Okay, that's all right. Your kids will be around to enjoy
And
it.
you'll still be here too.
Yeah. Okay. Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, back to Nighthawk Athletics. Hey,
Exactly.
NPC Cheer had a really great outing at the recent NCA College Game Day Camp held at UCA in Conway. Coach Michelle Godwin's Nighthawks dazzled with game day stunt routines and finished with a very impressive 9.8 out of 10, winning the camp Spirit Stick. And this is just having just 6 members on the squad in attendance. The Nighthawks were applauded for their ability to connect with the crowd, their team energy, their usage of floor space, and ingenuity and incorporation of props, which they touted very well on a low budget, and was very excited for the great outing that they had. They competed against some really big 4-year schools that brought multiple stunt teams. A stunt team, of course, being 4 members. NPC only had enough to field 1, but still had some very big accolades. That 9.8 speaks volumes to what Coach Godwin is doing for this program. And hey, NPC wants to continue to grow that program. They're not just guys and girls that stand on the sideline at basketball games, soccer games. They want to be out and have more of these camps, more competitions. Of course, the NJCAA, which is the athletic governing body that National Park College competes in, is going to be having co-ed cheer added to its list of sports in the near future. NPC wants to be part of that inaugural team. Had a chance to sit down with Coach Godwin earlier this week and said, we need guys. So if you are an NPC student or know NPC students and need some guys to hang out with the cheer team all day long, they are looking for you. They're looking for girls as well. But in order to technically join that co-ed rank, they have to have guys on the squad, and they're looking for you.
You know, Mark, and we've talked about this time and time again also, you know, these teams, inter-squad and stuff like interstate meetings and stuff like that, the bigger schools, you know, you find the teams that maybe with the guy on the team that didn't quite make it. And so these smaller schools, not necessarily a chip on their shoulder, but they got maybe something to prove. And you see them come up there, and maybe they wanted to go to U of A, or they may want to go to UCA or Arkansas State or whatever, and they're at the NPC or something like that. That just gives them a little bit more of the get up and go. And we've seen that time and time again when we've seen smaller schools play against these large schools, and then, you know, they get caught, and next thing you know, they walk out there with a W because it was just that, like I told you so. I was good enough to play here, and we just showed you. And sometimes that works out, you know what I mean? And you got to give kudos to them and congratulations all the way.
And I know what a lot of the people out there are thinking, like, yeah, I go to college at NPC, but there's no way I've got time for this. I've got a job, and I've got to balance classes. And, hey, let me tell you something. I know these girls on the cheer team, they all work here in the listening area, in the community. Most of them are local, coming from area high schools, and they find a way to juggle it all. Coach Godwin is really good at working with those kind of schedules, and if you're interested or know someone that may be interested, you can contact Coach Michelle Godwin, michelle.godwin@np.edu.
You know, it's a good way of staying in shape, too.
It really is.
I mean, I'm telling you, you better be ready. Because I've been to some of these clinics, and I've seen some of them, and you talk about go, and then they go a little bit more.
Oh, yeah.
And with the excitement, and you got to have a smile on your face everywhere, every time.
That's right.
It's like plastered on there. I don't know what it is.
It's highly competitive.
Oh, jeez. You talking about, I think they made a movie about this at one point in Texas or something. They're too competitive at one point, but congratulations going to them. Great spirit all the way around. And you and I talk about this too, Mark. You know, we've been calling football games for quite some time, but we got the band, we got the cheerleading, we got the pep squad. It takes a full effort out there, and it's something important for everybody to be a part of, and all the volunteers. And you know, you and I are probably some of the highest paid volunteers around, and that's what it takes, though. And so a team effort, and I love that one. And encouragement. So if you're thinking I was a cheerleader for one day at.
Is that right?
Yeah, one day. One day, it was back in high school, but for one day, pep squad, somebody didn't show up, and I just ran out there and put the thing on and grabbed the pom-pom. They asked me to stay, but I ended up having to play Friday night.
Just not enough time.
Just not enough time.
No, there's
but you can
never
make
enough
time
time.
at NPC.
Yeah,
if you're going to school
absolutely.
there, especially.
Absolutely, yeah. Shameless plug. Of course, I know they sign my paychecks, but I truly believe in what they have to offer for the student athletes. Of course, I've had a very busy week in the past week, helping move in the baseball team, the softball team, men and women's soccer, cheer. The basketball teams are now on campus, and it just feels like home again. Classes begin on August 26th, I believe, and we're ready for a really positive school year. It's going to be difficult to maybe upend what they did athletically last year, but I always like a good challenge.
Hey, nothing like in the world. Hey, fourth quarter's coming up.
We got much more to come right here on Sports and Shorts Tailgate Edition. Don't go anywhere. We're back in a moment on 92.9 at KVRE. Welcome back to Sports and Shorts Tailgate Edition right here on 92.9 KVRE. With Tracy Simpson, I'm Mark Oliver. For the final segment of this week's show, we'll break down some more local sports stories from around the listening area. And we begin in Little Rock this week, Tracy, where the Arkansas Travelers Youth Foundation is back at it again. I don't know how Lance has time to schedule all these events, Tracy, but he's got a really good one coming up for the youth. It is a youth camp teaming up with the NBA's Memphis Grizzlies for the third year in a row. It's a free baseball/basketball combo clinic open to kids age 6 through 13, where they can learn from the pros on Saturday, August 24th at the North Heights Recreation Center in Little Rock. That's going to be held from 9 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. It's a clinic that is serving as an introduction to both sports, and all the equipment needed to participate will be provided as well. And in addition to that professional instruction, camp participants are going to get some Grizzlies and Travelers swag and even tickets to Arkansas Travelers games. It is a free event, but registration is required. You can find the sign-up link on Facebook if you look at Arkansas Travelers Youth Foundation, or you can go online to milb.com/Arkansas. Tracy, the last camp that came through for the Travelers, my kids loved it. They still cannot stop talking about meeting Trav stars like Harry Ford, and they begged me to sign him up for this one. I know where we're going to be on Saturday morning. This one should be a fun one.
And that's what's so special about these camps, too, is that, and I'll be honest with you, I had, same as you, kids going to camps and stuff like that, but you so many times came to these camps and it wasn't integrated. It wasn't to where they were specialized in one area and such like that. And it was just an overall big happening. But man, oh man, this last one, like you were talking about, it was specific. It was, as far as where you're wanting to play. And I think they talked to the kids in a fashion that they understood, not too high up. I mean, these are MLBers and stuff like that, but I think they coordinated it perfect. The timing, they weren't out there too long, and they moved them around. And you know how,
Oh, yes.
and I know your kids, I know my boys, they get a little overzealous and a little anxious sometimes. They're great kids, but kids will be kids, and they get bored real easy. And they kept them moving, and they kept them learning is what I thought was important. And I think they do a great job at that. Derek and the rest of them, Lance and all of them over there, this is something that's you're going to see in the future that they may have to have more and more of these, I'll be honest with you. And because, like you said, Lance does a great job. We were very fortunate to talk to him earlier this week. Actually gave some tickets away to the Travs and stuff like that. And we did too also earlier. And we're going to say their name coming up here in just a little bit. And you want to give another round?
We might as well while we're talking about the Travelers
okay.
here.
It's a family 4-pack.
Why don't we do that right now? So a family 4-pack to an Arkansas Travelers game coming up, and all you got to do is text the show right now. You can text us at 501-915-1300. Text us Travs to 501-915-1300 and take the family to Dickey Stevens Ballpark, one of the greatest ballparks in this region. I had a chance while I was on vacation in Florida. I went and watched another.
Tell this story, Mark. Tell this story. Come on.
Is it story
We
time?
got, you got 2 minutes.
All right,
It
here we go.
needs to be about 20 minutes. But
All right, here we go. Speed run. Okay, so when I'm in Florida, we're down in Panama City Beach, and my wife's like, what do you want to do on this trip? And I usually want to go find like a minor league team, like Pensacola or something like that. And she's like, hey, the Birmingham Barons are in town. They're the minor league affiliate of the Chicago White Sox. Team.
What? Did we say White Sox?
And I was like, yeah, but isn't that like 5 hours away? And she's like, cool, see ya. And you know what, Tracy? I did it. I drove 5 hours. I dumped my family at the beach. The second day we were in Florida, I drove to Birmingham, Alabama by myself. I went to the Barons game, and I had the time of my life. I was dressed head to toe in White Sox gear. There weren't a whole lot of people there, unfortunately. The White Sox aren't super great this season, but I loved it. They actually pulled me out on the field in the middle of the second inning and had me play a game. I pulled a lever, and there was a slot machine that played on the scoreboard, and I won $500.
Easy, this is a family show.
I won, well, I don't know.
$500
I'm old enough to gamble.
$500.
I won $500 just for show. And I texted my wife immediately. I was like, look, all you guys could have came and won this money. And look, I'm here by myself eating some chicken strips with my 500. It felt like $500 chicken strips, but they were really good. But anyway, what I mean to say is Dickey Stevens Park, look, I've seen other minor league ballparks, and they're great. Don't get me wrong. In their own right, they're all great for different reasons. But Dickey Stevens Park is a very amazing facility. You don't necessarily know what you have in front of you until you see what everybody else has in front of them, and it's an Arkansas treasure. And I know the selling of the team and all that. I hope that it's around for many, many years to come. But one more thing, going back to the baseball camp, the one they had at Majestic Park, Tracy.
Yep.
This was not just, all right, Lance voluntold a bunch of players, all right, drive down to Hot Springs, meet with the kids, and then you can go back and play video games or whatever it is you do.
Right.
No, they stayed afterward. Harry Ford and some of these, they all stayed afterward and played a pickup baseball game with the kids that were just in the area.
That's what I'm talking about.
And they stayed for hours afterward and drove back on their own accord well after the fact. That's what this is all about. So that's the kind of attention that your child will get. That's the kind of experience that your child will get. My kids still talk about it. They still have the Cal Raleigh poster up in the bedroom. They both got one, and they're like, "Can we hang up our posters?" And Mom was like, "Yeah, but aren't they the same poster? Like, would we really need two hanging up?" Yes, we do, and we're going to do it, and they did it.
Hey, my boys, and they're grown men now, still have baseball sign when they went and ran the bases.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, and and Odie it ran down Odie the whole 9 yards.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, this is something special what they do. So you never know, especially at the Travelers game the other night, they had a drone show. First time ever in the whole area, and it was something spectacular.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Oh, my goodness. So, but unbelievable what they do for the kids around the region, and we're so impressed by them. Once again, this is, 4 hot dogs, 4 medium drinks, 4 reserved level tickets. Mm-hmm. These aren't just hanky-panky, okay? Now, all you got to do is text us 501-915-1300. You've got 2 more weeks of Travelers baseball. 2 more weeks. They got 2 more stands at home. There's 6 next week, and then the last season in September. That wins it, narrows it down. And right now they're sitting pretty good. They're vying for it.
Yep.
So we'll see what happens with that. But text us 501-915-1300. Andy and Melissa Cowling, congratulations. Y'all were the ones that got to go to the show last Friday. Way to go. Good job. Thank you for texting in on that one.
Yeah, and thanks for listening to the show as well.
Yeah, no doubt. Our sponsors appreciate that, and we can't do this without our sponsors. Unbelievable. We love all of them, and that's what's so important, Mark. So many different things going on, man. And I know we get back to that Majestic Park a lot, but it is so important for our community to know all about it and to be a part of it. It's your park. It is your park. Our tax money pays for it. It's your park.
That's right. And, of course, Hot Springs Baseball Weekend, Majestic Park is going to be very heavily involved. That comes up next weekend on August 23rd and 24th. The birthplace of Major League Baseball spring training comes alive. It's the 7th annual Hot Springs Baseball Weekend held at the Hot Springs Convention Center. And the exciting event celebrates Hot Springs' rich baseball history, offering a unique opportunity to meet baseball legends such as Johnny Bench, Robin Yount, Ted Simmons, and Al the Mad Hungarian Hrabosky, and hear their unforgettable stories. They're going to have a documentary on Yogi Berra of New York Yankees fame. It's the place to be this weekend. I know Rex Nelson is always there, a big baseball historian here in the state of Arkansas. There's going to be sport card trading shows going on as well. It's the big event of the fall in Hot Springs when it comes to sports.
You know what? That is so exciting because, like you're saying, they bring in some of the best of the best. I mean, these are all Hall of Famers.
Yeah,
and they got stories.
Can you go meet five for free?
For free. And these guys got some stories And trust me, it is very entertaining, and you'll learn something too, knowledgeable. They keep it cool for the kids, and so, and I mean, a couple of them actually after that they went out and you were able to see them walking downtown in Ohio Club and such like that. So
Yes.
it's very special situation there. And Mark, this just doesn't come around all the time. So hats off to them once again.
It's one of those things we talk about. I feel like I talk about it every single week. It's one of those unique things that Hot Springs provides, not just in general, but in the sporting community specifically. Of course, we talked about, the Hot Springs Wise Guys making a home for arena football here. Someone else that might be making a home here in Hot Springs, maybe cross your fingers.
Drum roll.
Another kind of unique sport will be making its appearance in Hot Springs coming up in September. On September 7th, the Hot Springs Convention Center will host the inaugural Arkin Brawl roller derby tournament.
I ride my bicycle. Okay, this is not my roller skates.
Listen,
Are you kidding me?
You laugh, but Tracy, I have seen some roller derby teams here in Arkansas in action. They typically play over at the stadium in Little Rock. I've seen roller derby in action. This is a highly entertaining sport that combines roller skating really with like tackle football. It's really fun. This event's going to feature multiple teams, not only from the natural state, but teams from Missouri and Louisiana as well. It's a single-day sanctioned tournament, and teams will be fighting for higher placement in the national standings in the Women's Flat Track Derby Association rankings. Very fun. Bring the family for this one. I believe tickets are going to be $15 all the way through September 6th, $20 at the door. And games consist of two 30-minute halves and a 15-minute intermission in between. Rocktown Roller Derby president Jessica Som said that she's excited to have a new venue in Hot Springs. Like I said, most games are currently played at the Arkansas Stadium in Little Rock, and hopes to add new members to a rapidly growing fan base for the sport. So could Hot Springs also call roller derby home in the future? Personally, I hope so.
Is this going to be an Olympic sport down the road?
If breakdancing is an Olympic sport, Tracy,
do not go there.
Yes.
Do not go there.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's that one person's had.
I'm telling you.
And that was crucial to breakdancing.
I'm telling you. You're going to get you a gold medal in something before you retire off into the sunset one of these days, right?
I'm going for the breakdancing in 4 years. I'll be in L.A. I'll be in L.A., no doubt. I'm getting in shape right now. You won't have to fly me there.
I don't know what sport I could actually compete in gold in. I'll have to think about it, get back to you next week. We have had a jam-packed show this week, and thank you for tuning in to Sports and Shorts Tailgate Edition right here on 92.9 KVRE. Join us every Saturday at 10 a.m. He's Tracy Simpson. I'm Mark Oliver, and we'll catch you next week.
Game over.